First of all, just, what was it like to be out here and do pro day today?
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, if you would have told me 5 years ago from today that I'd be doing this, I wouldn't have believed you. I have so many people to thank for being here. Pantoni and Coach Mick and Coach AT, who trained me. He didn't earn $1 for training me the last 2 months, and every day he brought the same intensity and he coached me, and I can't thank him enough. All my guys in the recruiting office and my family and everyone in club football, my coaches, my teammates, like, just to represent them. And they all believed in me. They didn't have to. I'm 5'9". I had 0 D1 scholarships, and everyone out here supporting me, knowing that I could do what I set out to do. So I can't thank all those people enough. Today's really not about me, it's about them.
How did this come together? Like, how did you get the opportunity to even be a part of this?
So November, when the season was winding down, I was like, I only have 2 more football games left to play in my life, and I just wasn't ready to accept that. And I love football. I love playing the game of football. So I asked Pantoni, as a recommendation from Billy Homer. I talked to Billy one day, and Billy was like, you should ask Pantoni if you can run a pro day. And I did, and that same day he was happy to ask Coach Mick for me. So again, like, I can't thank Mark Pantoni enough for doing that. And then Coach Mick said yes 20 minutes later. Didn't even think about it, just said yes, and let me train in the facility in here. And like I said, none of those guys had to do that for me, but they did.
Is there someone's career path in the NFL that you've kept track of that was similar to yours, or someone that maybe was overlooked that has made it to where you want to
go? Malik Smith last year. He's Tyreek's brother. He worked out here at Pro Day and got a mini camp invite. But outside of that, and he didn't play football. He played basketball, but no, not really. And he's got size as a trait. I'm 5'9". You know what I mean? So, but like I said, I love ball, and I just wanted to do whatever I could to continue playing, and whatever happens. I mean, maybe I get a mini camp invite, maybe I go to Canada. Like, who knows what happens? But I can't say I didn't give it my all.
Were there nerves? I mean, was it jitters? Kind of jitters?
For me, no, not really, because as being like someone who's kind of familiar with the scouting side, I don't have $100,000 to lose. You know what I mean? Like, some of these guys that get out here, like, if you run a 4.6 and you're supposed to run a 4.5, you lose a lot of money. I'm not in that position, so it was fun. I mean, I got coached by an NFL coach. I worked right in front of Mike Tomlin, you know what I mean, and in front of Coach Vrabel and all these guys. And I mean, I couldn't have imagined in my wildest dream that I'd have this opportunity. I always maintained the course. I worked as hard as I could, but who would have thought that this would be the outcome of it?
I know you've done some NFL drafts, so you probably thought you'd be on the other side of this.
I did. It's so funny how things work out, and like I said, nothing could come of this. I'll just say I worked out, and NFL went different directions, but that's fine. But I'll be there, eventually one day, unless I stay in the college scouting side or recruiting. But I know I want to be in personnel when this is all said and done, and I want to be in football. Football is my favorite thing in the world, and yeah, man, this game is awesome. It fills me with joy to be able to do it every day in any facet, whether that's working or training, playing, anything. I really love it.
How has your experience gone just being an intern here at Ohio State?
Yeah, it's been awesome. I enjoy coming to work every day. For the first time in my life, I enjoy waking up at 6 a.m. because I'm excited to come into work. And I don't have like a ton to do, just because my duties as a student, kind of NCAA rules you got to watch out, and we're obviously very cautious of that. But I love being here. I love being around the guys. I love the coaches. I love the building, and all these guys who are super nice to me and say hello when I see them. I couldn't have imagined, especially after thinking I was going to be here and trying to walk on. This is the path that I took to get to this point. It's I couldn't have told you this would happen. I couldn't have written it. I don't think anyone could have written it. So it's been awesome.
When was the last time you actually played defensive back?
I was talking to Coach Greg about this. I had like 6 reps against Wright State in 2021, just for the heck of it, because I was just getting on the field. Before that, 6th grade, 5th grade, yeah, it was new to me, and I slipped a couple times. I thought my recovery was okay, but all I could have done was show I'm an athlete, and I think think that's what I did, and just let the cards fall now.
So what made you decide DB was the best position for you out here?
Just knowing how a translation works from going from quarterback to a different position. And I would have had to work with CJ as far as being a receiver, and I didn't know if I would have had that time because I wasn't going to mess his script's timing up. So DB, those guys have to be the best athletes on the field because they got to cover guys like Marvin Harrison Jr. and Jackson Smith and Jigba and everyone else who was in that receiver room. So it wasn't, obviously, it's not ideal, but I did what I had to do and performed as best as I could.
You mentioned wanting to walk on here. Do you feel like you kind of achieved that dream here today?
No, but my mom always told me, and it just killed me all throughout college. I wanted to be on this football team, and it just never happened. And I would call my mom crying some nights, what am I not doing? What more can I do? Because I was working as hard as I could to get that spot. But she always said, son, something else is out there for you that you just don't know about right now. Something that you can't see coming. And I hate to say it because she's right. She's going to kill. She's always like, I don't see you playing. I see you in the front office. She said that since I was 5 years old. And obviously being a ball player, I'm like, no, I'm playing ball. Now she's right. And I hate that. But, my mom she had my back the whole time.
What did the club football program do for you to help you get to this point?
Being a leader and leading a group of guys and getting them to want to put their all into something like that. We pay to play, and you have to love the game to be there. And in 2018, when we got there, we had some dedicated guys, but the culture wasn't dedication. It wasn't passion. It wasn't camaraderie and brotherhood. And in 2019, that offseason going into that next season, we made it a point, me, Coach Grega, Chris Booker, everyone else who was involved in that, and then the guys who came in that 2019 season, we changed the culture. And we made it a point this is football. This is not club football. This is not a student run we're playing football. And I think we did a great job of that. And I wouldn't trade the last 5 years for anything. I know I said I wanted to walk on, but if anything happens, if I do make a mini camp, if anything happens, I wanted to say Ohio State club football. I don't want it to say Ohio State.
So where do you go from here? If you don't get that invite, what's next? Do you think it's working for a college scouting department?
Yeah, we'll put the pressure on Mark Pantoni, see what he can do to get me a job here. But that's my guy, and I can't thank him enough for hiring me, helping me, getting me here, and continuing to support me. But just going to get around here, network, talk to as many people as I can. Just like I said, I'll let the cards fall, and all I can do is talk to as many people as I can, shake as many hands as I can. It's awesome, though, because I wouldn't have this anywhere but Ohio State. I got into 3 schools when out of high school: Purdue, Wisconsin, and Ohio State. I wouldn't have this at either of those 2 schools. Not to distant, because there's NFL scouts that go to those schools and at those pro days, and there's NFL players that come out of them. But this is the Ohio State. These are the Buckeyes, and it's different than everywhere else in the country. So it's awesome.
Did you get the opportunity to have some good conversations with NFL coaches, scouts
I've talked
today?
to a couple people today. I'm not the hot topic as far as the players go. I know they're talking to guys like Jackson and Paris and Luke and CJ and Dewan and everyone else, even guys who didn't work out like Rocket and Zach who didn't run the 40. But I understand how that goes. So I let them have their talks, but they got to see me too, because I got to make a living too, and I got to get a job in ball. But again, I'm thankful for everyone here, and that's the first thing I say to all these people that I'm meeting is thank you for coming and watching me slip, watching me catch the ball, whatever it was. They watched me. It was awesome.
Is there a favorite moment from today?
Yeah, I thought my 40 was really good. My second 40 was really good. And then for the very last DB rep I had in the corner, I called one over the shoulder. I looked like a receiver, not a DB. But it was nice regardless. And I heard someone in the peanut gallery say, ooh, nice adjustment. I was like, let's go. That was cool. And then the vert and the bench in there and the weight room. I know you guys weren't in there, but those guys treated me like a teammate. Like they'd known me for 4 years, but they didn't have to do that. But that's just the culture here. That's the demands from Coach Day and Coach Mick, is that everyone in the building is a part of the brotherhood, and that's what it felt like today. So maybe I did feel like a walk-on today, but it was pretty cool regardless.
Did you get official numbers for 40 all that?
I heard 4.53 from our guy. I know you had me at 4.57, which I don't appreciate, but I ran, man. I ran as fast as I could. I got a great night's sleep last couple nights. I had some good meals. I had a good breakfast. I popped a big Red Bull, so I don't know what more I could have done to run any faster. And Coach AT, we shaved 0.2 off if I was in 4.5, because when I started, I was about a low 4.7, high 4.6. So AT Turner, that's my guy, and again, just didn't have to do what he did for me, but just being the guy he is, of course he did.
Vert, broad, bench, which you get the most?
I had 11 on the bench. I had 33.5 vert, 9.4 broad, and I don't know what my shuttle and 3-cone were. I think my shuttle was decent. My pro shuttle was decent. 3-cone I slipped, and that was supposed to be my drill, but the times that we had in between each test wasn't what I thought it would be, not as long. So heart's racing going from 3-cone to the shuttle, but again, everyone had to do it. It wasn't just me. Everyone who ran those drills had to go through that. So.